please have a seat and you can turn the light on.
Could you please state your name and current occupation for the record?
My name is Mathias James Eberly. I am the curator for the Arkspyre Museum and associate professor of history at Princeton University.
Genuine nerd.
We just want to know, how'd you find out about us?
Well, it's a sad story, really. Many years ago, my wife passed in a tragic accident, and the circumstances of her death were suspicious at best. The official report had many inconsistencies with the evidence that was later collected, and the agency took an interest in my case, but unfortunately they couldn't find anything conclusive either. But they tried where other people had turned their backs on me.
You know, I think I actually remember that. I think it was some of our. It wasn't back when me and Frank were actually out in the field, but I think it was some of our early recruits that were looking into it.
Yeah, here's the timeline sounds right. Sometimes our ideals and beliefs can be used against us on the job. What's your moral and spiritual background?
Well, after what had happened, I find no more comfort from up above. There's a lot of strange in this world, and nothing I've seen yet suggests that the churchgoers have the right of it.
We like to look after one another in the agency, but it's important for you to have somebody that you can confide in outside of this whole life. Who do you have that you consider significant and important to you?
Oh, I only have 2 living relatives left. The first being my son, Waylon, who refuses to speak to me after the accident. He blames me for his mother's death, actually. And there's my sister, Ethel, but she's been in a mental institution for the past decade or so. I guess the only other person in my life is my assistant at the museum, Carla.
Job's tough. Sometimes you gotta get away after a long case, and they are long. Believe me. Where's your favorite place to collect yourself and relax?
Well, usually like to retreat to my study. Nice high back chair next to the fireplace, kick back, bottle of brandy close by.
That sounds pretty nice to me.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of things that are important to us, what kind of things do you hold near and dear to yourself that you would never want to bring along on a mission, or if you would, it might actually hinder you doing your job? You know, Frankie here's got a favorite pair of boxing gloves. I've never seen him punch anyone with them, but he keeps them in his room in mint condition.
Sometimes someone wins you a championship. You don't just retire yourself, you retire the gloves too. They got something to do with it. It's not all on me. They work just as hard as I did.
Well, may sound a bit cliche, but I've got a pocket watch that belonged to my father. Strangest thing, though, it stopped working the same day my wife passed, and never had the desire or motivation to go get the thing fixed. It just serves as a reminder of things lost.
Well, if you had to describe yourself, the kind of person you are in a few words, how'd you do it?
Oh, it's easy. I'm a workaholic. I'm always trying to learn something new or solve some form of riddle.
And if you were an outsider or a friend of yours looking at you, how would you describe yourself in the third person?
I'd say, Claire's called this to me before, standoffish mentor.
What do you mean by standoffish?
It's
true. We do require all of our recruits to work as a team here.
I tend to get a little involved in my work, but kind of hard to pull me out sometimes. But it's possible to do so.
As long as you're not going to try and go lone wolf on us here.
I understand that work in the field means partnerships.
Work we do's too dangerous to go alone. Minimum 2. Gotta keep your head about you. Now, we still gotta run through sort of physical testing procedure before we clear you to join, but you got any injuries or illnesses we should know about ahead of time?
I did take a fall in an excavation gig down in Egypt about 15 years ago. Busted up my leg pretty bad, but since then it's healed pretty nicely. Only really troubles me when the weather comes up. I do take a cane with me just in case, but it's mostly just for show.
I think that's something you could still work around. On the other hand, we all have some of those personal demons that we can struggle with, or skeletons in our closets, or those things that just kind of creep up in the back of your mind. Is there anything mentally that disturbs you, or what kind of things are some of your worst nightmares?
Oh, that's easy. My worst nightmares, particularly awful because it's true, was the day that my wife passed. I was out of town on business for the museum, and I had a call that something that had come up, and I wasn't able to attend to, so I sent my wife to go do it for me. And ain't a night goes by I don't see myself talking into that phone and try to mouth the words of anything else to get her to stay in bed, stay home, anything but go do what I asked her to. The words always come out the same.
You know, I just gotta know. What makes you think you want to be an addition to the W.D.I.A?
Well, my interests are twofold. One, as a thanks to the organization for taking my case in from before, even if the results were inconclusive. The second is that so that I can learn to help others in the way that you do, and to help those in similar circumstances to find closure of their own.
We appreciate you coming in and talking to us today. If you actually end up making it through the screening and joining us, you may find yourself being a helpful understudy to our very own Mathias here.
If I do have to say, do not feel obligated to repay us for what closure we may have given you. It's why we do what we do. Join on your own, not because you feel owed to us.
Understood.
Alright, you can go and sit in the next room with the other applicants, and we'll call you when we're ready for the next level of screening.
Thank you. Gentlemen.